Welcome back to another episode of Multifamily EP360. And today's our guest is Kelly Coons from Submeter Solutions INC. So, welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you very much, Kelly. And little bit about Kelly. Kelly is the president for Submeter Solutions INC. Submeter Solutions is based in Kent, Washington. Since 1999, Submeter Solutions has been selling, servicing, and installing electric, gas, and water utility meters and submetering systems locally and nationally. They also provide third-party billing services for multi-unit properties. With that, Kelly, you want to add anything?
Well, I would simply, that's a great bio about our company. It's all about offering multifamily owners, managers, the opportunity to recover those utility costs that they may be paying directly for, and the opportunity to get those costs recovered from your residents directly. So that's what we do. We're specialized on that. We can help with both the hardware side of that and the billing part of that.
Awesome. Thank you. So, how did you get into this space?
Another interesting question. My business partner started the business back clear at the turn of the century, and he's an electrical engineer. He had been challenged to help develop a little product that supported a gas meter. And he ended up becoming literally, we were the first company to sell a gas and water meter online with a store in the early 2000s during the .com era. Grew from that. Now we still have an online store, but it's a low-level part of our business. We are selling large systems and small systems for new construction and retrofit, as well as the monthly utility billings. Our company's grown quite a bit in the last 25 years. That's how we got started.
Share me a little bit more about your services, who are your target, market, who are your target clients, or which markets you are focusing right now.
So we're targeting multifamily properties. The best example of that would be an apartment. It could be a triplex or a fourplex. It could be as small as that, or it could be large, high-rise, downtown urban setting that's many hundreds of units. But in all those cases, the utility has delivering that utility. We'll use water as a great with a single bill for the entire property. So the property is paying for the water in that case, providing that water to all of the residents. So what we can do is help, number one, with an ability to measure how much water every unit is actually using. And we do that by placing a meter in every unit, and then a system that makes that readable without actually having to go on site. It's all automated. Data goes to the cloud. And then after we have that meter read, we can then prepare a bill and send that utility bill to every resident, and the resident will pay and will reimburse that money back to the property owner or manager, so they now are collecting that amount of money to pay that utility bill. That's essentially what our business model is about.
Yeah, thank you very much. So very glad you see more opportunities like new apartments versus existing or old apartments like 90 built 1960s, 70s or 80s,
Certainly a building that was built in the 60s or 70s, especially for water, they didn't really consider when they designed the plumbing that they were going to be separating the water out. A new construction apartment building now, very much so, is designed right out of the gate, knowing that separation is going to be important. And in fact, in many jurisdictions throughout the country, submetering is actually part of the building code. But with older properties, it's sometimes we have some plumbing challenges with each building, but almost every time there's still a method that we can use to add a meter and measure the water. And we can talk more specifics about that, but it's very few properties that we really can say, sorry, we can't meter that. But in all of those cases, I think it's just really important to emphasize, Rama, when you're adding meters and then recovering those costs, you're maximizing your return on investment. Your property values are going to go up. Your you're making your investment in your business there more valuable, and it's hitting on the bottom line. And so that's really this is a good business decision for property owner or manager.
Thank you very much for sharing that. So how do I recover all my utility costs and have my tenants pay for exactly what they use?
So it's really important, number one, to kind of state out loud that there's an awful lot of laws that protect residents, tenants from being charged excessively by a landlord that may think this is an opportunity for extra profits. So that's not part of our industry. You're simply recovering those exact costs that the utilities are charging the building. How it's done then is that we will actually take the utility bill that's sent to the property and make sure that we have the exact published rates, and we will use usage that the water meter that has been installed now at the property tells us it is, and we will calculate what those utility tariffs are based on that 10-unit building, and we're going to have 10 different bills. If you add them all up, they're going to exactly match what utility bill is for the entire property.
So how do I divide up my utility cost effectively without it taking a ton of time?
One of the things about dividing those costs are sometimes we can have a meter that may not be measuring all of the water used, or maybe we can even do a property that doesn't have a meter at all. And our industry allows for ratio-based billing systems as well. Sometimes that acronym you hear in our industry is RUBS.
Yeah.
And so that's how we can also provide an opportunity for those property owners and managers to recover those costs too. Now, we believe that using meters is a more effective way. It's actually more accurate, encourage more conservation, and the overall utility bill, when meters are added, very typically drops 20, maybe even 30%, because people know when they're paying for it, they use less.
So when you're implementing this into different states, so did you see any challenges implementing this, like from compliance point of view or any other?
The first bit is a technical challenge to make sure that every building is different. And so when we excuse me, when our company looks at a specific project, we're not going to just try to jam in the same meter everywhere. We want to make sure we're finding the right meters, reading equipment that is a best fit for your particular situation. So that's number one. We look at the technical part of this, and then we can customize the billing services as well, Rama. We can look at the specific application. A lot of times you can have common areas or a laundry room that we need to make sure we accommodate. So every property's got a bit of a spin to it, and all of the billing software is customized to make it fit best for the specific property's application.
Got it. Thank you. So if you have only one city bill for both water and sewer, how exactly we can divide it up between residents?
Very common, by the way. A lot of times cities will bill both water and sewer. Many people don't know, but the sewer is usually based on the water usage, especially if it's the same utility billing that way. So the more water you use, your sewer cost is accordingly higher. They assume that water is going down the drain. We're going to use that same usage that the meter has measured for your water usage and use that to calculate your sewer bill as well. Your bill, that utility bill that the resident's going to receive, will have that all itemized: water, sewer. If it's broken out with some base fees, they will be prorated for that portion of it. As much as possible, we make our bills to the residents exactly match how the utility is billing the property.
Yeah, thank you. So how exactly we can avoid all this property damage when we have water leaks at the property?
Yeah, one of the big issues that every property owner or manager deals with are leaks. And, leaks can be many forms. The worst case scenario is the toilets overflowing and damaging properties. But more commonly, but nevertheless still very expensive, is like a toilet flapper that's running in a residence unit. From experience, that having even a small toilet flapper leak can be $150 to $250 a month in extra water. And if the owner is trying to just have a fixed fee that covers that utility every month built into their rent, or going to miss out on that for a leak. So one of the nice things about industry and the equipment that we use is that leak detection has now become part of what we can offer. So there are algorithms that are built into the software that recognize when water is running constantly for overnight 24 hours. A text or an email can be sent to the property manager or the maintenance person, and they can go check out unit 212 to make and find out that that toilet's leaking, and everybody wins in that scenario. Rama, the resident now isn't going to get a big bill. Property owner certainly happy to get that fixed right away, conserving our water by doing that. So that's a really important part. We have some clients that have bought water meter systems from us simply because of the opportunity to capture leaks.
Yeah. So what kind of equipments that are used for water, gas, and electric submetering?
Yep. So with water and associated with sewer, it starts with a water meter. The types of meters that we offer and sell, all utility grade, very accurate. They may be the exact type of meter that a utility would put in single family homes throughout the country. Some of the meters that we use are specifically designed for an apartment, a little smaller, more compact. We're seeing a trend now with better technology, and even ultrasonic meters are making mark in our industry. So there's no moving parts. The electronics mean that everything's more accurate. What's going on right now in the water meter world, electric meters, we have a more standard glass style meter that can plug into a socket. But we also sell electric meters that use what's called a current transformer, and they're easy to install. They're unobtrusive. They're great for a retrofit project, and they're not expensive. Also can sell gas meters. It was the first product that our company sold way back when. We sell meters that are very small and handy for an apartment, right up to very, very large commercial industrial size meters that can measure the usage for an entire large building. So all of those meters are equipped so that they can output their meter read in a digital format, and we can put reading systems with it. Typically wireless. They all base units that send that data up to the cloud via cellular or Ethernet or Wi-Fi. So the technology has been around a while. It's very mature. It's very stable, accurate, and so there's no need to have anybody actually go read these meters by hand. It's all done remotely.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Can you talk from cost and return on investment point of view also?
Costs, great question. An apartment building, let's just use that same 10-unit one I referred to earlier. You're going to probably be able to put a water metering system in there for about $120 per unit. Plus, there's probably about $2,000 to $3,000 of cost at the property. So it really isn't that expensive. And the return on investment, if you're not recovering those water costs, usually happen within 12 months. We can provide quotes for your specific application, but that's a really good idea of pricing for a water system. Gas meters tend to be $100 a unit more, and electric meters about $200 a unit more.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Would you share any of your best experience in implementing these systems?
We have found that first step is we want to work very closely with the plumber or the electrician that's going to actually be in installation. Everyone's a little different. So we're very, very hands-on with that at our company. If we're not doing it ourselves, we're going to be working with the local person who knows the building, design the system that's going to be the best for your property. We're going to configure all of that equipment before it ever leaves our office so that it's plug and play. And then we're going to work closely with that installer to make sure it gets done accurately. And then we're going to commission it and make sure that reads that are coming out of that, everything's working and it's working accurately. And then finally, we're ready to set up the billing services, and we'll work with one of our billing specialists to get the utility bill and work with the property management to make sure all the dates are aligned and that we have tenant information situated properly. I guess the theme throughout all of that, Rama, is you're not just having to buy equipment and then be dealing with this on your own. We know that it takes a little hand holding to make sure we get from the beginning to the end, and we want to be right there with you when we do that.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you. Would you also share any challenging experiences implementing the Submeter stuff?
Challenging experiences. A lot of times we can have, change is hard for people. If we do a retrofit project on an older building and the residents have been used to basically getting their utility for free, they get very suspicious about now, oh boy, I've got to start paying for my water and sewer. What's up with that? So we're really careful about trying to do a lot of education and helping folks understand that they're already paying for that utility. And this is just an opportunity for that payment to be passed on to them in a real fair way. And in fact, we empower them because they're now going to pay for what they use rather than what maybe their neighbors are wasting. So a lot of that is just really important on education and calming the changes that sometimes create anxiety with people. That's one challenge. I think that's probably the biggest one. We sometimes have property managers that think, oh my gosh, this is going to add more work to me to deal with these bills every month and collect this money. But usually by the time we show them the tools that we have and the reporting that we give them, and they really can see that, they're going to just collect this money and we're going to do that service for them. The good news about our billing services is that we pay ourselves to do that with a very small fee that goes on the bill. So the residents actually pay for that billing service. It's a free service to the landlord or the property manager. So that's a concern that once we explain that to the managers, that tends to alleviate their concerns.
Sure. Thank you again. So would you share your company's plan for next 2 to 5 years?
Well, we are a company that's growing. We flipping along at over 20% growth for the last half a dozen years. We're doing some interviewing yesterday in our office to continue to add to our staff. We're based out of the Seattle area in the Northwest, but just before we started recording, Rama, you shared with me about your location in South Carolina, and we've got projects that we do all over the country, including South Carolina. I remembered a trip back there just a year or two ago. So we're going to grow more. I think that some new equipment that's hitting our industry is super exciting for us. Particularly, I mentioned those ultrasonic meters. Those are offering better costs, better technology for our client. We've got a lot of buzz going on right now with that part of it as well.
Awesome. Thank you. So any personal habits that are helping you to be successful?
Love that question. My success is all of my team knowing what to do and being confident and successful around us. I know that sounds a little trite and cheesy, but we really believe that. I believe that. So I've got great working with us on our staff. We believe in hiring people that love to work with us and that know that we spend too much time at work. Let's enjoy this. People that can feel that they're making a difference in the world. And we have found that our success really starts with our people. That's the biggest takeaway I've had. Your audience, Rama, is very hard on our culture here to be a company that likes each other, has fun together, works hard to be successful, takes good care of our customers.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. So any books that impacted your life?
I'm a big Patrick Lencioni fan. I've read a lot of his management books. I don't know if this is a controversial at all, but I just finished a book club after reading newest biography on Elon Musk. and had quite a discussion. He's a controversial figure, and I certainly would not condone a whole lot of his methods, but it was a very lively discussion at Leadership Book Club last month as we talked about some of the things that he's been successful on. And I think it's a good read that I would encourage anybody to read, Walter Isaacson's bio on Elon Musk.
Yeah, great book. Thank you. So how can listeners can connect with you, Kelly?
Super good question. You can contact us. Our website is submetersolutions.com, and we've actually set up a link, submetersolutions.com/podcast. So if your listeners have heard something today that they would like to follow up on, maybe we could give them a proposal on a project, they can go to that link, and we will give them a free proposal and an evaluation and answer any questions that they have, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing a little bit more about Submeter Solutions, and thank you very much.
You're
Kelly.
very welcome, Rama. It's very nice to speak with you today.
Sure.